Welcome to this problem solving video. Before I begin, I notice that these files that I've been sent do not match exactly. In the images, the stitch angle is different to the angle in the embroidery file. To avoid any confusion, I will change the stitch angle in the design to match the images. Okay, there are two issues with the embroidery. On some stitch outs, the tatami fill is not meeting on the stitch back. And number two, poor registration with the column C outline. You can see the design is pulling badly on two sides, which indicates to me that the hooping may be a little loose and or the backing is not sufficient. I would recommend at least 2 layers of good quality cutaway backing and possibly a layer of polyester woven backing placed closest to the garment. And make sure all pieces of backing are fully hooped. Do not cut strips of backing. And make sure the hoop has a firm grip on the fabric all round. I prefer round hoops as the tension is even for the full circumference. From a digitizing point of view, there are also a couple of suggestions. For the gap issue, go to the properties settings and under the special tab, change the overlap to 3 or perhaps even 5. This should cover the gap that you see in the first image. However, a better solution in this case would be to move the start and finish points so there is no back stitching and the object stitches start to finish in one operation. You can see the gaps are top right and bottom left, while the pushing out past the edge is top left. This would indicate the stitch direction is certainly bottom left to top right, causing the pulling in here and pushing here. If you look closely at the image, you can see the stitch direction and notice how the numbers are closer to the edge at the top right and further away at the top left. The outline is a perfect circle, but the base stitching is distorted badly with the push and pull. The solution is to alter the shape of the inner fill. Now back to the embroidery design. First add the satin border, and my suggestion is to make it a little wider to help cover any minor distortions. If you have the advanced outlines and offset tool, use it to add the outline, where you can nominate the colour and width of the outline. If you only have the simple outline and offsets tool, then use it. Set the spacing to 0 and change the width and colour in the property box later. Now, with the reshape tool, adjust the shape of the fill to overcome the issue. The final shape will no longer be a proper circle, but it will compensate for the distortion. Just check for trims and if necessary adjust the finish point of the fill to match the start and finish of the outline. Do not rely on the automatic start and finish feature for this. This is an art, not a science. You may have to make a couple of sample runs to get the final result perfect. Remember, the result will be different on different fabrics. From a machinist's point of view, hoop securely, use adequate backing and entirely hoop the backing, do not use strips. I hope this solves the problem.